native son, B.J. Johnson, and the dangerous LaSalle Explorers. Mike Stewart is the referee. He is at center court. Andre Berry is going to jump center tonight for the Rhode Island Rams. Meanwhile, Tony Washington will do so for the LaSalle Explorers. For the second time this year, these two teams meet, this time in Philly. The tip and the first points attempted are controlled by Rhode Island.
You can see Rhode Island trying to press the issue, get some buckets off of their energy and their physicality.
Lacey Matthews covering Stoops out front. There'll be a lot of man-to-man defense for Rhode Island tonight. That's something we've seen all season long. We can't say the same, though, about LaSalle. Three-pointer from the left sideline for Stoops, no good. Rebound is pulled down by Doubt. Terrell, 17-footer, off the back of the rim. All right, so a little cool to start this game, the first minute or so into it.
Feeling each other out. Terrell with the look that he normally makes.
Stoops going right to the rim. He's cut off by Berry. Loose ball. It's picked up in the paint by Washington, and he gets the roll off the side of the rim.
It's one of the things we talked to Coach Giannini about. How important would it be? How huge would it be if your team can get you some second chance opportunities right now? And a little bit of a different look. A box and one. Perhaps looks like a box one. No, 2-3 zone. Check that. He's going to give him different looks, keep him guessing. That's what he discussed.
I really thought it was a box of one, too. I really thought they were doing that against Terrell.
Trying to keep these Rams guessing, a little bit off balance, and more importantly, not able to get into a rhythm offensively.
And a steal picked up by the Explorers. Powell going right to the rim, blocked away by Lacey Matthews. And LaSalle maintained possession. B.J. Johnson for three. And he doesn't get the bounce off the back of the iron. He didn't play the last game. He had a bad ankle the last time these two teams faced each other.
It's going to be needed here tonight, especially posting up, not just those threes, and you saw him shoot and miss there.
You see Matthews with the miss from the corner. So 2-0, LaSalle on top. 2 minutes got by here in the first half.
When you talk to Coach Giannini, one of the things he wants to take advantage of is his height.
I think Washington did a nice job leaning in on Berry as he was going into the air.
Well, they feel like they can post up Rhode Island. Rhode Island may be stronger and a little bit wider inside, but LaSalle has the inches advantage. That time Washington with the little baby hook.
All right, the Rams will settle in. We know that. They've had 4 empty trips to start this game. Lacey Matthews has the shot blocked. Loose ball picked up by B.J. Johnson. That was on Stoops. Here comes Pookie Powell going right toward the baseline. Three-pointer from the corner. It's good.
It's a point of emphasis for Coach Giannini early in the shot clock or at the end of the shot clock. Whatever you do there, you want to catch the Rams off guard. Wow.
Basket does not count. No continuation. All right, so let's take a look at the last 2 baskets. Washington and then Peary.
Nice here. He takes his time posting up. You see a little bit of the contact there. The nice little baby hook, and down the other end of the floor. Good penetration. The nice find. Good follow through by Robinson. Check that by Peary.
To the free throw line is Stan Robinson. And he makes the first one. Robinson, the transfer from Indiana, 63% from the free throw line. Overall, Rhode Island is at 74%. It's their best free throw percentage as a team since the 97-98 season. That's big time.
That is. That's quite a while ago. Going on 20 years now. Rhode Island with a little full court pickup. Hurley's defense team, Tom, is deep in the backcourt, so they'll throw bodies at you.
Pookie Powell splits the defense, goes right to the rim.
Those are the kind of buckets that drive coaches crazy because really LaSalle didn't have to do much for it. No movement, no passing. Powell all the way.
Stanford Robinson, though, was able to answer. He wanted to pass that ball as he was coming down, but decided to just release it for a shot.
See the double team there, and then the defender does a good job of getting back to his man.
And a little hand-checking foul called on Andre Berry. Pookie Powell does have the speed to do this.
You can see how he splits the double team right there, and all of a sudden Berry unable to keep him in front. Powell all the way to the cup.
I would think that we're going to see Cyril Langevin pretty soon. Not that Berry hasn't played well this year, but Langevin is really playing well. Powell's step back jumper is off the mark.
You always use a 6'8" body, especially a sophomore who's been through this A-10 rigors.
Berry, fadeaway jumper is good. I think Washington's got to get a hand in his face. He's bigger than him, height-wise.
Well, and you've got to make him work. Again, you could dare him at times, but now that he's made one and showed some touch, you've got to respect that.
Stoops to the corner, Peary to the basket. A little too strong. Washington with the offensive rebound. And now LaSalle will reset its offense, but they may not wait too long. That is a long skip pass.
Well, the good spacing allowed that skip pass. Rhode Island's help not around.
Great hands by Terrell to punch that loose. Here comes Matthews, and it's stripped out of bounds by Peary. Well, we reached our first media timeout. 15:41 to play here in the first half. Got some players, folks. This is a team that can go deep in the NCAA tournament. The inbounds goes to Lacey Matthews. Little zone now again by LaSalle.
2-3, and they're jumping up trying to disrupt passers.
Boy, Berry really wanted it at the elbow. Instead, they go to Doughton, who just drops it in into the paint.
Peary that time caught napping, was staring at the basketball, and Doughton just went right over his shoulder. Easy two for Doughton.
Well, now it's an 8-2 run for Rhode Island. Within one, 9-8. Stoops covered by Doughton up top. Peary covered by Terrell. Jumper by B.J. Johnson over the top of Robinson. B.J. Johnson, he's already got 1,000 points combined in his college career, but he came into tonight's game 41 points away from getting 1,000 at LaSalle alone.
That's saying something. See the jumper made there, and again, full court pickup after makes.
And Stoops along the baseline. Yeah, we talked to both coaches before each and every game in practice or shoot around. A lot of times coaches talk about defense. John Genie talked today about offense. He said it's about his offense tonight.
Well, again, he was worried about the physicality of the Rams on defense, the grabbing and the holding, and being able to play through that and to execute what they want to do on the offensive end. I thought it was interesting. He said sometimes it's just going to fall apart and we're going to have to ad-lib. In other words, just play ball.
Yep. B.J. Johnson against Robinson. Quick first step. Shot no good. Gets his own rebound and puts it back. It's a three-point LaSalle lead. Doughton left side. Andre Berry, 18-footer, no good. And Peary with the rebound. Rhode Island had made 5 consecutive baskets before that miss. They double-team B.J. Johnson as the ball was on the perimeter. Now Washington left alone for a moment. Johnson for 3. And it's good. That one rattles home. I didn't think it had enough on it to get to the basket.
Well, again, we talk about how important the Explorers' offense is going to be. It seems like they're frustrating him right now, even perhaps tiring out Rhode Island. Looking at some of the Rams, looking at one another, trying to catch their breath right now.
6-point lead for the Explorers. Lacey Matthews covered up front by Stoops. Now Terrell brings the defense with him, and the ball stolen away by Peary. Some good hands. Stoops into the paint, leaves it for Johnson. 5 new players about to commit to the ball game, split between both teams. And Stoops will be called for the traveling violation and substitutions. How about B.J. Johnson? I wasn't sure if this had enough on it.
Well, you can see again how the good ball movement from side to side. The defender unable to get there in time. He likes to operate in that corner right there.
Does.
Nice release.
B.J. Johnson, who is a redshirt senior from here at Philadelphia. He went to Lower Merion High School, same place that Kobe went, then went to Syracuse, and then wound up transferring back to his dad's alma mater. His number's a little bit better than his dad's, although his dad was a good player.
Got to be neat to be playing back home.
Speaking of that, Fats Russell in the game for the first time. Philadelphia native. Pass is cut off to Langevin. Here's Garrett, caught in the paint. Ball stolen away. Dees, who just came into the ball game, stole it, but then on the opposite side, Rhode Island does the same. And then a near steal by Stoops.
Had Johnson open on the wing, didn't get it to him.
Well, this is a frenetic pace right now.
And I think it favors LaSalle.
Ball knocked out of bounds by Langevin. 11:49 left to play here in the first half. LaSalle still has the lead. It's 18. We've seen B.J. Johnson make a three already tonight. We talk about his dad. His dad, Bobby, averaged 8.1 points per game during his career here at LaSalle, 1987 to the 1990 season. His son has taken it to a little different level individually.
Well, he's got a different game than his dad as well. Talk about graduating in 1990. That's the same year I graduated, and more importantly for Explorer fans, it's the year Lionel Simmons graduated as well. L-Train with his name and likeness up in the rafters here.
Stoops going right to the basket. The tip back is no good. Rhode Island with the rebound. Here's Terrell, little hesitation. Fadeaway jumper. It's no good as well. B.J. Johnson with the rebound.
Good challenge, making Terrell shoot that fadeaway. Terrell, as good as he is, right now matched up against the taller Johnson. He needs to create that space, taking that tough shot.
Terrell came into this ballgame averaging 17.7. Shot clock is under 10. Dees goes inside to the sliding Brookins, the freshman from Cypress, California. It is 20-12. It's the largest lead of the first half. Rhode Island has not scored in more than 3.5 minutes. They got to get Terrell going, don't they?
Yeah, they do on this end of the floor. What's really rare, and it's catching me by surprise, is you very rarely see Rhode Island get outmatched in a pick and roll. The last couple of times, they've given up easy buckets. Usually, they're very good at defending the P&R.
Cookie Powell, little hesitation. Pull-up jumper is no good. Fats Russell with the rebound. Powell wanted a foul. Here comes Russell. His high school in Hotep charter has a playoff game tonight. Doughton with his runner right side of the lane. So most of his former teammates, Fats Russell's teammates, will wind up here at Tongol Arena a little after 8 p.m. Eastern time. Dees tries to penetrate the baseline. Terrell was calling for a double team, or for a double dribble, I should say. And the ball knocked away by Fats Russell. Picked up momentarily for the Rams. Shot clock will reset. They go down low to the cutting Brookins, who lays it in.
Hustle plays right now are being made by the home team, and it's usually the Rams that hang their hat on those qualities and that aspect of the game right now being outworked.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that are surprising tonight. Obviously, LaSalle making sure the tempo is at its pace, although Rhode Island plays at this level as well. But the fact that the LaSalle Explorers have held Rhode Island to 16 points here in this first half.
You can see right now, jump shots are what the Rams are making, and what Coach Giannini and his team are hoping is those jump shots stop falling, but you don't want to give them easy buckets.
I'm really surprised that they're able to get to the hoop as well as they are.
And that's not the first time. We saw Johnson do it earlier, and now all of a sudden you're seeing, I should say Powell did it earlier, now all of a sudden you're seeing others get to the rim.
Here's Terrell for three. That might get him going if it goes in. It does not. B.J. Johnson with the rebound.
Jump shot still from the Rams.
And a foul is called as Powell goes to the rim.
You can see why LaSalle has got this lead, the nice little two-man game, and then look at this penetration right here. Mind made up early, get all the way to the rim with no resistance.
So Cookie Powell will go to the free throw line. Powell at 80%. Averaging just under 17 per game. The transfer from Memphis makes his first. Kelly checks in for the first time, number 45 for the Rams. Robinson and Lacey Matthews in as they return.
I can tell you, just looking at Dan Hurley's body language, having known him for multiple decades, he is incensed with his guys right now because they're not the aggressors. They're late to react. That's a calm moment we're catching him right there, but he's got his eyes on that whole entire bench.
Yeah, he told us today in practice, he said, listen, I texted all the seniors. We had a group text last night. He said, my concern is even more of a letdown after losing to St. Bonaventure this past Friday.
Well, it's interesting you say that because when you said it earlier, I kind of thought you had the words wrong as Matthews gets all the way to the rim. You don't normally worry about a team after a loss. You think that they're got revenge on their mind and they're ready to go. But what he may have meant was they're a little demoralized. The fact that they didn't expect to lose to a St. Bonaventure team. And let's quite face it, they've been winning for a long time.
And by the way, an excellent St. Bonaventure team. Mark Smith's doing a great job. Fourth turnover, by the way, for LaSalle. Garrett will check out. Actually, Garrett will inbound. Brookins will check out.
Done a good job.
Brookins has done a very good job.
Mater Dei High School in California. Brookins, very famous powerhouse basketball program.
26-18. Garrett for three. It's no good. Rebound by Kelly, who lost it on the baseline. Robinson falls out of bounds, but calls a timeout. 7:58 to play here in the first half. LaSalle is on top of the top team in the A-10. Against a team that has an RPI between 1 and 75. That's the category for quadrant 1. You're going to see that a lot over the next couple weeks in college basketball.
Oh, am I glad they asked you to explain that.
I'm not sure if I did it clear enough.
It was a lot better than I did, partner. I got it.
So essentially, that was a victory. That was a quadrant 1 victory, a home victory against a team whose RPI was between 1 and 30. B.J. Johnson along the baseline.
Nice little triple threat position. Used a rocker step. Nice compact move and finish.
Did you used to use the rocker step at all?
Yeah, you had to use the rocker. I don't understand how guys can play the game without using the rocker step. It's one of the most fundamental positions as a player to be in.
Illegal screen set by Kelly. Well, here's B.J. Johnson with his rocker step.
Take a look at the little isolation going one-on-one. Nice compact move. The pump fake gets the defender. The help comes over. Not in time.
If I had to go back and do it all over again, as Eddie Money said, I might use the rocker step.
Listen, it's important. I'm just going to use the name Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was probably the best at the rocker step.
Schuler going right to the rim is fouled, so he's going to get a couple of free throws.
Well, coaches will tell you deep penetration breaks down defenses and nothing good can come of it. That time able to get all the way to the cup. Whether it's not a basket, this time it's a foul.
So Schuler to the line, 69% for the year. High arcing shot. It's an 11-point game. You know, the thing about it, too, there's 7:12 left to play. This is not even a high-scoring game from LaSalle's standpoint. I mean, they've got 30 points. They average 72 and a half. But this is more about just the missed shots for Rhode Island and some good defense by John Giannini's team.
Well, there aren't too many uncontested shots, not a lot of open looks. So what they're doing right now is making everything tough and not letting them get into the paint. You got to shoot jumpers. There's another one.
And Fats Russell's three-pointer is no good. Rhode Island is now 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. The freshman Brookins had an opening to the basket, did not realize it. B.J. Johnson working against Robinson. Step back jumper, no good. And the rebound by Langevin. That was a good clear out by Langevin.
Good block out by the big boy inside.
Matthews is runner. That's a tough shot, fading away from the basket.
He was in the paint and came off of some penetration, but that's still a tough shot. Those are not the high percentage shots Coach Hurley wants.
And a steal by Lacey Matthews, heading toward the basket, leaves it for Robinson, who sweeps it in, and it's a blocking foul. Count the bucket.
We talked about at the top of the program. Lacey Matthews is their Mr. Everything. Here he is on that drive. Nice little soft touch and the finish, and then in penetration, the pass comes from Mr. Matthews. Rams on the break.
So Robinson to the free throw line where he's 63%.
Transfer from Indiana, product of Finley Prep. Finley Prep, of course, being in Las Vegas.
Shot is no good off the back of the iron. And again, another foul call. That one's going to go against Terrell.
Those are the kind you can live with, though, if you're a coach, Tom, in that he's aggressive, he's going after the ball. The reason why he gets that call on him is because the other team blocks out. LaSalle did a good job of putting a body on him. But I don't mind aggressive fouls.
Stooks breaks the press along with Washington. And a near steal by Terrell. It goes out of bounds. It'll remain LaSalle basketball.
Tough place to inbound it from as well, Tom. You can see the official trying to give the inbounder some space. Johnson by himself with Terrell outsizing him in the post.
Short to Stooks. They'll leave Washington open up top. They're not concerned about him taking a three. Shot clock is at 5. Dees didn't realize it. Shot clock is at 2. Shore doesn't realize it. Heads to the basket. That's a violation. And another turnover forced by the Rams. That is the 6th turnover for John Giannini's team.
Hey, look at John Giannini on the sideline. He's pointing to his head as if to say, use your head. Listen, it's one thing for the one guy not to know, but the 4 other guys on the floor have to give him some awareness. Let him know that the shot clock is going down. It's time to go to work.
I think I've seen that a lot more this year, where the player, the offensive player, doesn't realize what the time is left on the shot clock.
Almost a backcourt there as well, Tom.
Very close to a backcourt. And a bumping foul is called. It'll go against Pookie Powell. That's his first.
You decide, is that a backcourt?
Boy, that was really close.
Man, that looks close.
That's a pretty good torque on it.
Yeah. And the angle looked like it was heading in the backcourt, caught before it did.
Here's Terrell. Terrell pull-up jumper from the baseline is good.
Smooth. That one was in rhythm. He had a little bit of space, and he got a good look, most importantly, at the rim.
Terrell now with 4 points. Washington wants to take that shot. He was destined to take that shot, and Langevin was destined to play some good defense.
Langevin gave up ground, but his defense didn't break, though.
Lacey Matthews bringing some rain. It's a 9-0 run for the Rams.
Romulus High School product from Detroit, Michigan.
That school has produced a lot of very good college basketball players.
Terry Mills comes to mind.
And NBA players.
Yep.
Shot blocked by Langevin. Here comes Terrell and the Rams. Down by 3. They were down by 12 moments ago. And that one pinballs around and goes down. And Rhode Island with a 12-0 run ties it up at 30.
Well, they made it back into this ball game the tough way by making jump shots, but it started from their good defense, and their defense is giving them some rhythm when they pull up for the jumper.
Pookie Powell with a crossover, little hesitation right side of the lane, high off the glass, no good. And Terrell, who's got his motor going now. Lacey Matthews, same spot as a moment ago. This one's short, though, and out of bounds.
After being down big time.
Now, none of the sanctions have anything to do with the pending or the ongoing FBI probe. But that is a staggering defeat for Louisville.
Sad days for a proud program.
Yep.
I'm reminded of Darrell Griffith, the McCray boys under Coach Crum back in the day. But how they have fallen.
Well, that foul is called on Terrell, so he's going to check out. It's his second personal foul. 16 fouls for Rhode Island. Inbounds goes to B.J. Johnson.
Important now for LaSalle to have an answer to the little run that Rhode Island has made.
Well, they're going to call a foul on Tony Washington. And you're right, because you can have that presence to get a dozen-point lead, but then when the other team comes back and erases it, you seem depleted.
Yeah, and they're scoreless now in their last 7 trips. 0 of 5, 2 turnovers. They've been outscored 12-0, Tom, in that period as well.
As we head toward the 3-minute mark here in the first half. Matthews crossover into the paint, and his runner is good. It's now a 14-0 run.
That's kind of a pro move right there. If he wants to play at the next level, he's going to have to get that move down before the defenders got that up and in with a little teardrop.
First lead of the night for the Rams. And Peary heading to the basket, fouled on the floor. Lacey Matthews is a special player, and he makes special plays.
Take a look at how he breaks down a defender with the little crossover before the defender gets there. Nice little floater.
Lacey Matthews came into this ball game with 1,765 career points.
It's nice to see him healthy, too, after 2 years ago missing an entire year with an ACL tear. Even this year, Tom, missing a couple of early games. When you talk to Coach Hurley, he says his numbers have suffered because when we were bringing him back from injury, we played him little by little. We brought him back gradually. We didn't give him 35 minutes a game. Subsequently, those numbers in short bursts have gone down a little.
And then he bruised the knee against Richmond.
No big worry there.
Huge worry. It was the other knee, which was a good thing, but still worried.
Yeah, and you can hear a pin drop in that arena.
Robinson has the ball knocked away for a moment. Off the high screen, down the left side of the lane. It was kind of an out-of-control shot. East up top to Pookie Powell.
Not looking for anything initially. It's one of the things Coach Giannini talked about early in the shot clock, getting looks.
B.J. Johnson against the smaller player. Three-pointer is good.
That's one of those shots where you say, no, no, yes, yes. With a defender in his face, long range from far away, and it didn't seem like he really had a rhythm, but he shot it and made it.
And Garrett off the side of the rim. Here comes LaSalle again, up by 3. .145 to play here in the first half. Johnson dabbled with the arc, but that was a soft pass. Here comes Fats Russell. Alley-oop to E.C. Matthews, and he's fouled going up to the rim. That probably, if that had gone down, and I know there's a lot of ifs in there, but I don't know if you would have found a better play in college basketball.
And so much for the knee problems. Elevator goes to the penthouse at Mr. Matthews Hotel. Wow. That's a 6'4" guard doing that, folks.
Kind of wish that went down just to say we were here to watch it. He's to the free throw line.
Immensely gifted, this young man. Been a huge part of the program. Looking to apply his wares somewhere after he gets his degree.
Matthews misses both free throws. Langevin with the rebound, goes to Robinson. Count the bucket.
Now for a little perspective, Matthews misses both. He's an 84% free throw shooter,
yes.
Matthews. There's that last play again. He was tiptoeing along the baseline there, stayed in.
So Robinson trying to tie this game up. It would be our 3rd tie in the last minute and a half. He does.
The 2-1-2 by the Rams. Falling back into a toe compression.
Pookie Powell covered by Fats Russell. And that's just not knowing where you are as the foul is called. Robinson He's going to wind up going to the free throw line. Stooks called for the foul. That's his second. He just dribbled way too much there.
Yeah, he dribbled too much. He didn't dribble with a purpose, and he made the fatal mistake of jumping. Because eventually you have to come down, and that's a travel. So he was forced to have to get rid of it before his feet touched the ground, and he made a bad pass.
Front end of the 1-and-1 is good. So now a second shot coming for Robinson. One's good.
After makes, again, a little token pickup.
You like that?
I do. I like it because it takes LaSalle a little bit more time to bring the ball up the floor, eat up a little bit more of the shot clock, plus it takes away that early offense that Coach Giannini was talking
How
about.
about that pass? That was a rifle to Peary from Johnny Schuler.
Great look. What he did to get open was set the screen and then cut right to the basket. His teammate did a good job of being patient, allowing that screen to develop.
How about that pass? Langevin is able to finish. Fats Russell goes behind his back for the assist.
And I'm not sure Langevin anticipated that coming his way, but how about the penetration, able to break down the defense? Fats.
I think that's where you see Langevin improving these last few games. Danny Hurley said he's just been practicing, so his hand-eye coordination, he catches the ball with a little more efficiency.
First rule bigs always have to learn to play with is play with your hands up. It's tiring, your shoulders are gonna burn, you gotta do it.
And a steal by Fats Russell. Sprinting the length of the floor, sweeps in, does not get the layup to go. Loose ball, and along the baseline, it's out of bounds. It will be Rhode Island basketball with 5.2 to play. Timeout for one final play when we return. Well, it's been a very entertaining last 35 or 40 seconds. Let's take a look at some of these passes we've watched. Woo!
Nice little movement without the basketball. You can see Matthews caught staring at the basketball as his man cut right down. Well, we're in Philly, right down Broad Street.
That's right. Fats Russell, who's from Philadelphia, then followed it up with a behind-the-back pass to Langevin. All right, so 5.2 to play. What are you looking for here?
Well, the first thing is you want to make sure you don't get a jump shot. Don't settle for your Rhode Island. Get something quick hitting going right to the basket. Fats with the ball.
Goes to the corner for Doughton. Doughton lets it fly, and it's no good, and that ends the first half. Rhode Island closes the half on a 21-7 run. That's the end of the first here in Philadelphia. After the break, we'll send you to Brent, Danny, Gary, and John in New York. With 18 to half, you're watching March to March, presented by California Almonds.
Especially against a physical rebounding team like the Rhode Island Rams, that's going to go a long way in conference play.
All right, so LaSalle took a 12-point lead. After that, they went 2 for 7 with 4 turnovers and were outscored 21-7, which has given Rhode Island a 2-point lead. We are underway here in the second half. Rhode Island with a win tonight can clinch at least a share of the Atlantic 10 regular season title. Backdoor pass, B.J. Johnson with a little tomahawk jam.
Terrell on him. He's been on him all game. And what about the overplay? The backdoor from Johnson. Good recognition from his teammates. How about the elevation on the dunk?
Here's Terrell with the basketball, thinking about the answer. Gets it to the paint, little advantage with his size, and was able to get that pull-up jumper down. I'll tell you, his game has been refined since last year. He has 9 in tonight's game.
Reminds me of one of my former teammates, Terry Porter, in the way he's so strong.
It's a great compliment.
That shoulder keeps defenders at bay.
Boogie Powell goes right to the rim. We saw him do that a number of times in the first half. Here's Doughton. Hangs in the air, count the buckets.
Talked about how important penetration was again, Tom. That's a ticky-tack foul, but a foul nonetheless. You can see the offensive exchange. That's how they started the second half. The emphatic finish by Johnson, and here's that play again. See, you've got to foul. If you're going to foul, foul.
Yep.
Don't allow the guy to get the shot up and in.
Doughton misses the free throw, so it remains a 2-point lead for Rhode Island. 1 minute into the second half. Rhode Island coming off its first loss after a 16-game winning streak this past Friday. They trailed it by 10 in the first half tonight.
Coach Giannini talked about perhaps going a little 4 around 1. They're doing that right now.
And Terrell with the steal from behind. That's the 11th turnover for LaSalle. Robinson for 3, grazes the rim. And Washington gets back to get the rebound.
Well, that turnover on the other end was because they were looking for Washington on the drive. Guys are getting into the painted area looking for one another. You've got to complete that.
B.J. Johnson. One of the concerns that Danny Hurley had was B.J. Johnson and Pookie Powell. He said, listen, they have 3 guys that can score 20 or more points in a game at any given time. And Johnson has it stripped by Terrell, and a foul called at midcourt on Peary.
Explorers foul is on number 13, Saul Peary.
His first, team second.
Side out of bounds, and Coach Hurley trying to get his team on the same page. Little stack, double stack, I should say. Down screens for Terrell.
Lacey Matthews, he may have been held, goes in strong, and a blocking foul is called. That'll be the 3rd foul on the Explorers. So Washington called for his 3rd.
Awkward little herky-jerky move from Matthews. I think that's what garnered the foul.
Lacey Matthews with 9 points, 0 for 2 from the line. Make it 0 for 3. The March to March continues in our studio tonight at 11 Eastern as our panel of college hoop experts break down everything happening on and off the hardwood. Don't miss Inside College Basketball. March to March presented by Principal Financial right here on CBS Sports Network.
So it's Brett Stover, John Rothstein, and
Gary Parrish,
that's a
Danny Granger.
That's a lot of good-looking hair in that group right there.
Well, I will not have a comment on that.
I'm not leaving you out, Mr. Granger. It's just the other guy's got such luscious locks. Yeah, Tom, you envy over here. I was wondering why you were green.
Here's Johnson from the corner. Step back jumper is no good. Battling for his own rebound, knocked out of bounds. It'll be Rhode Island basketball.
Barry with the hustle. People get on him, not looking like he's in top physical shape, but what I like about him is to get from being out of shape to being in shape, you have to push yourself. And that's what he does right now. He doesn't coast. He goes hard, and then coach takes him out, puts him back in a little bit later.
There's Terrell behind the back, step back jumper, 16-footer, no good. And a rebound by Robinson, leaves it for Doughton. Robinson for 3, it's no good again. And the rebound this time for B.J. Johnson, who now has reached double digits in rebounds. A double-double for B.J. Johnson. And a blocking foul is called. Count the bucket.
Nice pick and roll. The rotation was there. Take a look at it again. He was outside the circle.
I thought Robinson got there, but he didn't lean back. I thought he got there.
I thought he was there too, a little bit early, and where you want to be and when you want to be there. The problem is I thought he was, again, leaning a little bit, trying to oversell the call.
Brookins, the freshman, converts the free throw. I don't know what the future will hold for Brookins, who's 6'10", but I've been impressed with his limited action here tonight for LaSalle.
And I like it because he's got a nice soft touch, too.
Speaking of soft touch, Andre Berry with the soft touch.
How about the nice little pass ahead as well? Doughton that time with the easy look. Berry with the finish.
Boogie Powell tried to slip that pass, cut off by Berry and Doughton. Outlet pass goes to Matthews, a spin move in the air, and the finish along the baseline.
They can get buckets off of their defense. They don't have to score in a half-court set.
This is the largest lead of the night for Rhode Island. LaSalle has 13 turnovers tonight. 11 points for E.C. Matthews. And Dees with the answer.
Much needed shot.
Oh, excuse me, it was Fury.
Yep.
Fury.
He's got 4 double-doubles this year, does Fury. Career high 22 against St. Bonaventure earlier in the season.
Terrell from 17, it's good. What a sweet stroke.
And that dribble, that crossover, he's just trying to get himself in rhythm so he can pull up and knock that down, and he allows the defender, he lulls the defender to sleep that time. A nice quick pull-up.
P.J. Johnson on the baseline, Berry with the rebound. And Doughton is able to control it. He's got 5 on 4. Terrell for 3. That's no good as Johnson saves it. P.J. Johnson is having himself a night on the boards. That's 14 rebounds to go along 14 points.
Able to finish the defensive exchange.
And a sweet touch off the glass by Miles Brookins.
We talked about the soft touch for the free throw line. That time, the nice strong finish from the California native.
Five minutes into the second half. Rhode Island trying to get to its 22nd win. LaSalle to its 12th. You see Matthews along the baseline, leaves it for Berry, and he doesn't get the layup to go down, but Robinson is there to steal it and clean it up.
Well, Johnson thought the rebound was secured, so he was out on the break. There weren't a lot of other guys in the lane trying to get that back, Tom, but good hustle from the Rams.
13 points now for Stanford Robinson. P.J. Johnson, shot partially blocked by Robinson, gets it back. They go to the corner for Stooks. 17-footer for Brookins.
Another example of that soft touch we were referring to earlier. Saw it from the free throw line, that time in game action.
Yeah, he shows up on film, there's no doubt about it, but he's showing up even more tonight. You see Matthews along the baseline as the ball knocked away, saved by LaSalle and out of bounds. It'll be Rhode Island basketball. Well, let's see some. With 13 on the shot clock. Robinson into the paint, count the bucket again.
It's a big time move. Let's keep in mind, Robinson, 6'4", 200 pounds, going in there against the taller defenders. So it's that contact and up and in.
Brookins called for the foul. Vance Russell checks back in.
I thought LaSalle has done something when you're playing against Rhode Island teams. LaSalle has done this well. You've got to match their energy. You've got to match their physicality. You cannot back down from them, and you can't be fooled into thinking that it's a temporary thing. It's a 40-minute affair.
Yep.
They're going to be in your face.
53-50. Pookie Powell to the basket high off the backboard, no good, and the rebound taken down by Robinson. By the way, if there is an issue for Rhode Island right now, it's just they're not making their free throws.
When Lacey Matthews misses free throws, that's new.
Yep. That was an errant pass picked up by Robinson, who spins it through the cylinder, and a timeout call by John Giannini. 55-50, 13-22 to play here in the second half. It's the largest lead for Rhode Island, up by 5. We'll be back right after this.
think it's remarkable what Greg Marshall has done in a short period of time over there in Wichita. You think of schools like Gonzaga that have made themselves a small school and now into a big-time program. Wichita State taking those same exact steps.
Talking to Fran Dunphy, the head coach of Temple, the other day. Fran's been around for a long time, has seen some really good facilities. Well, that is a great pick and roll by Brookins.
Nice dive from Brookins and an even better find from his teammate. That time it was Pookie Powell.
Yeah, so that's 13 points for Brookins. Anyway, Fran Dunphy said he has never been to a place louder than Wichita State's home arena.
No, it's a big deal. I mean, the reason why Allen Fieldhouse is so big of a deal is because they love their basketball in Kansas. It just carries right over into Wichita as well.
Terrell, 3 is no good. See what they do with Brookins here on the screen. They give it off to Pookie Powell for 3, no good. And Langevin drops it out of bounds. They're going to call Brookins for the foul. I think that's the right call. I know Langevin's a big guy, but there was an arm bar in the back.
Take a look at it again here. You decide. Shot goes up.
Well, I don't know.
Subtle there. What would have helped him, Brookins, would have been to put his hip into him. Get the arm out of there. The arm is an excuse for the officials to call something. Technically, if you're really thinking about post play, it's that hip that needs to be put into his back. You block out with your body, not your arms.
I think the other thing that would have helped him is if Langevin had caught it, it just would have been a good rebound.
Right, perhaps. Yeah, because it wouldn't have fallen or looked awkward.
Terrell leans in, count the bucket. You've got to have a little luck and athleticism to be successful in this game.
A-10 Player of the Week 2 different times in late November and late January. Take a look at that right there. That's why he reminds me of Terry Porter, my teammate. That is strength right there and body control.
And he misses the free throw. They are 5 of 13 for the free throw line, which has left the door open for LaSalle, down by just 5. And Peary's able to connect with that three-pointer. It's a 2-point game.
Came back pretty enthused about that jumper as well.
I think he may have been just about ready to be taken out of this ball game. Dees was at the scores table, and then they told him to go sit down. An air ball misdirected by Johnson.
Gave a different look defensively as well. With LaSalle in a little bit of a 2-3 zone that time.
Pookie Powell. Now to Stooks, down low to Brookins, already a career high 13. Trying to get in against Langevin. Good decision to bring it back out.
Absolutely good decision. Nothing there. Reset.
Peary for 3 again. He may have been hit. Nothing was called. And Terrell with the board.
Faded away on that jumper too. Refs aren't going to have a hard time rewarding that.
And Terrell just lost it. Here comes Pookie Powell. Heading to the basket, alley-oop for B.J. Johnson. He goes right out of bounds into the cheerleaders. Well, it's turned out to be a very interesting game. 11:09 to play. Rhode Island up by just 2. 13 from beyond the arc in this ball game. But I think Danny Hurley probably is going to be, I don't want to speak for him, but 5 of 13 from the free throw line tonight.
That's going to bother him. Those are giving back points. And I'll speak for him. I've known him for a while. He's not going to be happy about it.
Oh, they're a 74% free throw shooting team normally.
And it's guys that normally make shots too, like Matthews, that are missing a handful tonight.
Russell off the high screen, heading into the paint, sweeping in and gets the roll.
Well, I figured you had to be brave to be called Fats, and that drive shows it right there, buddy. How about getting all the way to the rim with a little bit of English off the glass?
He does not look like he has any body fat at all on him. With another steal, heads to the basket, off the glass, it's good again.
Those are not easy shots to make, let alone for a guy who's 5'10", 165.
This is the largest lead for Rhode Island. Pookie Powell, little jab step, leaves it for Washington. Outside for Stooks for 3, no good, rims out. Doughton with the rebound. Doughton right side of the lane, off the glass, no good. Loose ball, here's Powell.
Tough shot that time by Doughton.
Tony Washington down low. Backs his way in. Whistle blows, and Langevin will be called for the foul. All right, let's take a look at these last two scores by Fats Russell.
Well, last break was a 2-point game, and now all of a sudden it's open because of drives like that. Russell with the impossible finish off of the great body control. Here's the steal, playing the passing lanes, going up against the bigger defender, using the glass up and in.
I'm going to throw a name out there who Fats Russell reminds me of. If you remember Greg Grant.
Ooh, very nice. Michigan. Played for the Clippers for a while. You're talking about Gary Grant.
No, I'm talking about Greg Grant, the guard from New Jersey, from Trenton, New Jersey.
I sit corrected.
There's just a similar body type. I think Fats Russell might even be a little taller than Greg Grant.
How about Boo Harvey?
Boo Harvey's a good one.
Another one.
61-58. Terrell trying to get some space. It's like he had a wall in front of him. And Pookie Powell with the rebound.
When he had to shoot over his man as well. That time it was Langevin with the obstruction, if you will.
Tony Washington against Langevin, down low, curls into the paint, heads to the basket, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Using the drop step there. What's the drop step? You take the defender one way, then you swing him back the other with the drop step. That's what allows you to change directions and gain some ground.
To me, it's one of the moves that every kid, doesn't matter what their size is, should learn almost immediately after picking up a basketball.
Well, I agree with you 100% because the drop step could be used anywhere.
Right.
It could be used out on the perimeter. It's not just a post-up play. I've seen plenty of perimeter players use it.
That ball just did not want to go into the rim.
Washington struggling from the line normally as 60.5 free throw shooter, 60.5.
Wow. Misses both. Could have been a one-point game. Under 9 minutes to play. Fats Russell for three and no good. And B.J. Johnson saves it off Jared Terrell.
Well, if the Rams do wind up coming up short here, Tom, they're going to lament the free throw disparage.
Yeah.
38% they're shooting right now to the Explorers, 78%.
Yeah, they can overcome the missed shots they had in the first half. But that's hard to overcome with the free throws, as Robinson will be called for the foul.
Robinson
be the 14th foul for Rhode Island.
Robinson trying to three-quarter low that time and anticipate that steal, get his deflection. What Johnson did, feeling his body behind him, was he held him off. Did a good job of holding him off. He had to reach, hence the foul.
Johnson with a quick step to the basket and shot partially blocked. He gets the rebound back with a fresh 30. And a loose ball, no good on the shot. By the way, 20 rebounds for B.J. Johnson.
That's a tough
That's
shot.
Incredible.
That's a tough shot by Martin. Or Terrell, I should say. Excuse me.
8:19 to play. LaSalle will inbound along the baseline. Pookie foul. Powell for three, and it's no good. Trying to tie this game up.
Got a good look.
Here's Doughton down right side of the lane, leaning in, and he's fouled as the ball grazes off the side of the rim. We got some free throws when we come back. 7:59 to play. The top team in the Atlantic 10 up by just 3.
Transition. Started the second half with that emphatic dunk, but I like the 20 boards as well.
I don't want to underscore that at all. You can go 5 years watching college basketball games or calling games like we do and you call in the NBA, and you may not see somebody get 20 rebounds in a game. I mean, that is an incredible feat.
And it took me 5 years to get a total of 20 rebounds. So there's that.
Coach K is watching and nodding.
Oh, yeah, he's agreeing wholeheartedly.
Doughton converts the free throw. There have been 22 occasions this year in college basketball where a player has 20 rebounds or more.
That's in 40 minutes. It's one thing when you hear about all the, on SportsCenter, the NBA numbers. That's over 48 minutes with a whole lot of possessions and a 24-second shot clock. It's different at this level.
20 rebounds, the most by any A-10 player this year, as Terrell is called for the foul, as Dees will go to the free throw line. That's his third. And the 15th foul.
On the line for your Explorers, number 10, Isaiah Dees, shooting 2.
So Dees will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. He's 70% for the year. And he misses the first one. To put a level on that basket after the game, just to make sure it's not leaning one way or the other.
Functioning properly.
Yeah. Second shot is good. So Terrell has 3 personal fouls. We'll just watch that. Robinson has 3. Langevin has 3 for Rhode Island. And all 3 are in the game for the Rams. You see Matthews try to slip a pass on a bounce. Langevin saves it. Robinson has it blocked by Washington.
Washington straight up and down.
Here's Washington on the opposite end. Does not go to the cylinder. Now to Stooks, into the paint, slips it to Washington. Fouled from behind by Robinson.
Washington with such poise. Some people would say we didn't even look at the rim, but he knows he's getting it back. Look at this block right here. There is a principle of playing a verticality. Washington straight up and down.
4 fouls, by the way, on Robinson as Washington converts the first free throw. Stanford Robinson will check out. Fats Russell checks back in. Second shot is no good.
Soft touch, though. I like that. He had gave it a chance.
63-60. Doughton will hop into the paint. Count the bucket, another foul. What body control by Jeff Doughton.
You're starting to see some of the strength advantage that Rhode Island plays with coming to the fore right now. Take a look at this nice little screen. Absorbing a whole lot of contact from behind. Nice finish.
Down 70%. He is 12, make it 13. The lead is 6 for the Rams. This matches the largest lead for Rhode Island tonight. Washington backs his way in. Langevin has 3 fouls. Washington tries to go over the top, out of bounds, and the foul will be called on Washington.
Tough break for Washington. I like the move, though, because he had plenty of space. Help wasn't coming, and he stayed aggressive. Just could not convert it.
So it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity. I think it's Lacey Matthews who will go to the line. 84%. He is 0 for 4 from the free throw line and has 11 points. And he misses again. He's 0 for 5.
And Terrell, it's off of him as well. That's a lost opportunity. You can't have too many more of those if you're Rhode Island.
Washington and Terrell go flying into the seats.
Take a look at the hustle here. Oh, it's a little kid right there.
Yeah, and they made sure that they got the little kid back on his feet, settled him back down. There's Bill Bradshaw, the athletic director here at LaSalle.
Give him a water. Kid's been through a lot. Still got a smile on his face, though.
Hey, you want to be in the action, right in that seat? You're in the action.
You're part of the game now.
B.J. Johnson gets Terrell to fall back. Shot no good. The rebound's loose. Picked up underneath by Dees, and he's fouled. So Dees will go to the line.
Dees with the great hustle, Tom, giving his team another second chance opportunity. Dees had a career high 24 points the other night at Bucknell in conference play. Check that pre-conference play.
Gets the free throw to go down. Here he will check back in.
You're not changing or subbing like for like here. That's a short coming in and a big going out. Right now, Johnson, the tallest explorer out there.
He makes both of his free throws. Jarvis Garrett's going to check in for a Kelly. So then Danny Hurley counters that by getting his big off, and he goes small.
Well, doesn't want the advantage to be on with quickness. Feels like that's what Coach John Giannini's going for here with the last 16 or 6:17 left to go.
Danny Hurley calls out the play. Doughton looking inside for Terrell. Terrell to the corner. Lacey Matthews for three. And it rimmed out. It looked like it was good from the time it left his hands. D's for three. His shot is partially blocked by Doughton.
That's a tough shot right there. You know how you know? No offensive rebounders in position. Nobody was ready for that shot to go up.
D's will be called for that foul. I think he's going to check out of this game. That's 10 team fouls. As soon as he took that three and missed it, John Giannini went to Brookins and said, get back in the game.
Didn't take long with the hook.
Russell makes the first free throw. All right, let's look at this foul trouble. Robinson has 4, Terrell 3, Langevin 3. And on the opposite side, Tony Washington has 4, and Stoops has 3.
I think the biggest one to keep an eye on is Terrell, because they're going to need him to play a prominent role down the stretch.
Russell misses the second free throw. He has 7 points, 5 steals.
Terrell with 3 as of now.
Yep. Kookie foul. Stoops downloaded Johnson, who pulls himself away from the basket. He may have traveled. He may have got away with the travel. Shot blocked by Langevin with a call foul on him.
Tom, he didn't get away with the travel. He got away with running. That was a heck of a violation that did not get called.
I always wonder if I miss it.
Nope, see right there, the right leg gets dragged. That right leg is supposed to be rooted into the ground. If it slides or shuffles at all, focus on it again. See, he picks it up and puts it back down. That's a travel. Subtle, but a travel.
He has 14 points and 21 rebounds.
He came to play tonight. No doubt about it.
Makes his first free throw to make it a 67-63 game. Langevin will check out. He has 4 fouls. Robinson has 4 fouls.
I mentioned his dad, Robert, a little bit earlier. Dad went to 3 NCAA tournaments.
Boy, that's a great experience.
And his time here in LaSalle.
Thanks to the L train.
Exactly. Train is leaving the station. Everybody on board. Train was one of my teammates in Sacramento for a year as well.
Doughton skips it to the corner for Fats Russell for 3. It's good.
Fats, pardon the pun, has been huge tonight.
He now has 10 points to go along with the 5 steals. Stoops downloaded Johnson. And a foul called. I think they're going to get Terrell for that one.
I like that pass, too. I like the idea for the wing there. Take a look at that 3 again from Fats.
Danny Hurley said that when he scouted Fats Russell, he knew that there was, obviously a size disadvantage when you think about playing in the Atlantic 10. He said, but every game I watched, it didn't matter who they played. He was the best player on the floor.
Well, and as an Egyptian American, I can appreciate anybody who went to Imhotep Charter High School. I mean, you might as well just call it Tutankhamun Middle School. Pretty good stuff.
First free throw is good.
I've never seen that before. I mean, I've never seen anything called Imhotep Charter School. That's good stuff.
Second shot for Johnson. It's good again. This is one heck of a night for B.J. Johnson. 21 rebounds, 18 points, and he's kept LaSalle within reach. And now Danny Hurley, with 4:56 to play, calls a timeout. 30-second break. We'll be right back. Well, back here at Tom Goal Arena, it's 70-66. Rhode Island is on top of LaSalle by 4. Danny Hurley just used this timeout with under 5 minutes to play. What is he telling his team?
Well, first thing he's telling them right now is make sure that we get what we want on the offensive end of the floor. Don't settle for anything. Fats right now taking the ball out of bounds. He's the hot hand. Coaches usually ride hot hands. So you've got Lacey Matthews in the corner with Fats bringing it in. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little two-man game with them right now. Terrell out of the ballgame. Got him in opposite corners. Obviously, I'm wrong.
Fats Russell wide open for 3, and it's no good. Pookie Powell with the rebound.
Can't ask for a better look than that. Wide open look.
Here's B.J. Johnson against Lacey Matthews. Hook shot is no good, and Matthews called for the foul. For EC, that's only his second. But there are 3 players with 4 personal fouls for Rhode Island.
Looks like he got him on the body low as Johnson was turning and elevating. Threw off his shot.
B.J. Johnson's first free throw is good, adding to his career night. 19 points, 21 rebounds. Now there's a clock issue. Ray Natili is over at the scorer's table taking a peek at it.
Tom, apparently I'm being told that 11 seconds are being put back on because the clock kept running after the whistle was blown for the foul.
So 4:25 to play here in the second half. Doughton goes right to the basket, and he's fouled by B.J. Johnson. There's a lot of fouls being called in this game, Olive.
Not a lot of defensive discipline right now. Both teams reaching and grabbing. Move your feet. Keep your guy in front of you.
Doughton 3 of 4 from the line tonight. See what Rhode Island is as a team. First free throw is good. Now 10 of 20. They've reached 50%. Both of them. Deeds will check back in. Johnny Schuler is out. Again, if you're just joining us, Rhode Island is the top team in the Atlantic 10, coming up a loss to St. Bonaventure. They had won 16 straight. Well, they're leading by 4. It's been a dogfight here tonight against LaSalle.
Got to get a bucket here if you're LaSalle, preferably something going to the rim.
B.J. Johnson heading toward the rim, off the glass, and the spin is good. It's a 2-point game.
Came from the weak side to the strong side and then was able to operate. Saw he had some space. Nice little body control off the glass. Good.
22 points, 21 rebounds, but then Doughton answers easily with his left hand. Got to play a little more defense than that.
You got to play longer defense than that because you just made LaSalle come down here. You just had to work down this end of the floor for everything you got. Then you come down and you relax and you allow the Rams to answer quickly. That's a no-no.
74-70 going against Robinson. An offensive foul called against B.J. Johnson. A 4-point game. What a night for B.J. Johnson.
He's been a monster, Tom. We talk about his rebounding, but much-needed buckets down the stretch. 4-point game. Finish off the rim. He's been huge.
All right, Johnson. So it's the first time for a LaSalle player since the late Rasul Butler had 20 rebounds in a ball game that B.J. Johnson's reached that number tonight. Butler just tragically died with his wife not too long ago. In fact, LaSalle, has got on their jersey the RV to commemorate his passing and his great legacy here at LaSalle.
Well, if you knew Rasul, you knew he was one incredible individual.
Oh. And boy, could he play.
Yep. Rhode Island, Tom, 71 possessions with just 6 turnovers throughout the game. Only 1 turnover in this half.
Doughton misses the shot. Stanford Robinson with the putback.
He's been big, hasn't he?
He's been huge. This is the best game, and we've seen a lot of Rhode Island games. This is the best game I've seen him play.
Well, you see him get into the basket there. Johnson avoiding him, but then the no block out. Sort of like you forget about the rebound. He did. Good hustle.
Robinson, if he makes this free throw, is at 20 points. This is a season high, the 19 he has.
Just under 63% from the line, makes that one.
So a 20-point night, and this is the largest lead for Rhode Island, 77-70. B.J. Johnson, bad pass from Schuler. Well, if you're LaSalle, you need to stop here because I think Rhode Island can smell it now.
And you can see what the Rhode Island defense does, and it's been doing it to the Explorers all night long. It puts you in situations you're uncomfortable, unaccustomed to, and then all of a sudden you find yourself out of character. That leads to turnovers and bad play.
Doughton just holding on to it. He was cut off, and that's an illegal screen by Robinson. He's going to foul out of this game.
That's a shame.
Point of emphasis this year in college basketball.
Moving on the screen, and Robinson now is going to take himself out of a game. He was contributing quite a bit.
So Stan Robinson will check out. Terrell checks in. He has 4 fouls.
Part of the reason why we haven't seen him up until now is because of those fouls.
Yep. 2:20 to play.
Look at where LaSalle is operating, so far away from the basket right now.
And Fats Russell goes over the back of Stoops. That's his first foul. He's not in foul trouble.
No, and that's a tough way. That's the second time we've seen that foul in that manner. That is a tough angle to steal the ball from. The far side, the long side of that turnover. Russell at a clear disadvantage when he decides to go that way. Foul picked up.
5 points for Stoops. He averages 8.5. Second free throw is good. 77-72. With 2:10 to play here in the second half. Danny Hurley just said spread out, spread out.
And a moving clock is his best friend right now. He doesn't need to stop the clock. And he's got Terrell with the rock in his hand. He's feeling pretty comfortable. Matthews in the corner.
And Terrell goes to the basket. Shot is blocked. B.J. Johnson pulls it out of the air.
You could argue that there was a little bit of contact on that. No call, but
they go inside of Johnson. Off the glass, it's good. He's got 24 points.
Well, and it's Garrett who comes over for that rotation, and at 6'1", Garrett cannot stop Johnson.
And by the way, Johnson did get a rebound on the opposite end, so that's 22 rebounds. 24 points, 22 rebounds. Back in 1993, Incadare for GW had 24 rebounds in a game.
Incadare, you said.
Here's Doughton. Fadeaway jumper is no good, and a rebound is loose. Picked out of the air by Peary. And with 1 minute to play, LaSalle is down by 3. Johnson's got a mismatch.
Yeah, he's got the little guy on Garrett on him again.
And Garrett bumps him from behind. That'll send Johnson to free throw line.
They're taking a questionable approach, if you will, on how to play in the post. What you're taught when you're a guard playing a post, a big man in the post, is you're supposed to sit in his lap in front of him. You're deciding to play behind him now. Nobody can see you because you're so small going up against a bigger Johnson. You sit in his lap and the help comes from behind.
He is now 7 for 7 for the free throw line, and John Giannini's team is now within 2. Clock continued to run once again, so they got to fix that.
Also returning for your scores number 5, Tony Washington. Replaces number 1, Johnny Schuler.
You know technology today, Paula. Sometimes you press the off button, but it just doesn't go off.
I get into so much trouble doing that.
So the officials, that's Mike Stewart, who's going to take a look at the TV. Our official statistician, Ed Speedo, over the other side, trying to help out. There we go, 50.6, and then it begins.
Yeah, that's not supposed to go that way.
All right, so 50.6. And one shot now for B.J. Johnson. Seven for 7 tonight.
He's been awesome. Quite simply, in a word.
Makes the next free throw. It's a one-point game with 50 seconds to play.
When I watch B.J. Johnson, I ask, why can't he play at the next level? 6'7", decent body, game.
Timeout called by Danny Hurley. He's got one left and a one-point lead. Danny Hurley just conferring with his coaching staff, David Cox. And before he goes in and talks to his team, he called the timeout. He's down to 1. Possession arrow belongs to Rhode Island. Both teams will be shooting 2 free throws. Several guys in foul trouble. What's Rhode Island looking for here?
Well, listen, if you're Rhode Island, you want to get something going to the basket, but it doesn't have to be in a hurry, because bottom line is you still have a lead, even if it is a slim lead. But milk the clock. Get the shot you absolutely want, and then come back down the other end of the floor and defend without fouling.
You know, you've known Danny for a long time. I've known him for quite some time as well. Talking to him today, he was just spewing with confidence with his senior players, Lacey Matthews, Jared Terrell, and how hard they have worked and how hard they have played. They lose to St. Bonaventure. They're tested here tonight. They're down by 12 in the first half, but here they are with 47.9 and the basketball.
Yeah, and coaches are perfectionists, so when it falls short a little bit, it gets them a little bit upset. It gets them under their skin, if you will. But talking to Danny, and you mentioned it after knowing him for a number of decades, this is the most positive I've heard him when he talks about his team.
Langevin has it up top, hands the ball off to Doubt. Shot clock is at 15. Terrell, tough pass out of bounds. It'll be LaSalle basketball. Now Jeff Anderson saying, let's take a look at it to see if it was deflected out of bounds by LaSalle.
That was really, really good help defense from Washington. The redshirt senior, Terrell, saw him start to backpedal, thought he had an avenue into the lane, but then all of a sudden he came right back in and made himself big, forcing the errant pass by Terrell.
Boy, I can't tell whether Johnson hit it. I can't tell whether Stooks hit it before it went out of bounds. Both of their hands were in the neighborhood.
But if I'm guessing that is LaSalle basketball.
Well, they're going to look at probably that angle once again. That may have been the definitive angle. It did look like the basketball misdirected a little bit. All right, let's watch this one here. All right, does it hit Stooks? Does it hit John?
LaSalle ball.
Here's Terrell. Yeah, I guess it's Washington that hits it. I guess it's Washington that hit the basketball out of bounds. So it's going to be Rhode Island basketball with 14 on the shot clock. That last look with Washington defending, I do think he may have gotten it.
That was the most decisive look I think we've seen.
All right, so Terrell will inbound 33.7. 13 on the shot clock. Rhode Island with one timeout. And Doughton was just informed of that. Gets it to Terrell.
You don't have to foul because the shot clock is at 9.
Here's Doughton, cups it, goes up off the glass. It's good. What a shot over top of Tony Washington. And now the shot clock is off.
3-point game still a 1 possession.
You going for 3, right?
Absolutely going for 3. Get something going to the rim, perhaps, but if you get an open look, you take it.
Pookie Powell, step back 3, a little too long. Rebound taken out by Peary, and he can't get it to go down, and he's fouled.
And that's the other option we were talking about, going to the rim and hoping for a foul. Peary almost got his team in a position to tie the ball game.
It's definitely a good call, and Peary got it off the glass, and it just spins out of the rim.
See the frustration on 1-3. He's got to make these now. Peary, a 77% free throw shooter.
So is he making this first one, missing the second?
Yeah, you make the first one. There you go. And now all bets are off. If you're in yellow, as soon as he lets go of that ball, you're crashing.
Or do you make it and foul? I mean, I don't know. What do you think the best thing to do is?
No, I'm missing it right now. I've got Washington in there along with Johnson. Johnson, one of the better rebounders, the best rebounder in this game.
22 rebounds, as a matter of fact. Peary converts. So a timeout call by John Giannini. 79-78, 7.8 to play. Come on back. Do you think a foul?
Yeah, I think that's the.
Got to tell you, this is one of the best games we have seen. So 7.8 to play. Rhode Island is going to inbound. And your thoughts are foul right away, Ala, here?
Well, you foul because of 7.8. You don't want any more clock to whittle away. But at the same time, you got to make sure that you foul quickly, Tom, quickly.
Yeah, because right now, Rhode Island, and that may be why they decided to do it this way. Rhode Island's 12 of 22 from the free throw line.
Yep.
The Northern Iowa and Valparaiso game is underway and now available at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as this one is over. All right, so Terrell, Russell, Garrett, Doughton, and E.C. Matthews on the floor. E.C. Matthews 84% from the line, Terrell 87%, but their numbers are skewed tonight. Garrett will inbound. Can run the baseline after the made free throw, and Doughton takes it and is fouled immediately.
Anticipating that foul coming. Doughton strong with the ball.
6.7 to play. Doughton's 5 of 6 today, Olive, from the free throw line.
I like that old school approach, too. As soon as you get fouled, you jog to the free throw line like you're going there with a purpose.
Look at Rhode Island tonight, 12 of 22. Doughton makes the first one. So it'll still be a 1-possession game. For a 3-point lead, and it is a 3-point lead. Still time to get a shot off, and LaSalle will call a timeout. All right, so 6.7. You've got quick guards in Pookie Powell. He is a 3-point shooter. B.J. Johnson can nail the 3 as well. You're just speeding up the floor. I mean, are you going to foul if you're Rhode Island in this one?
Listen, I'm flying up the floor, whether it's in Powell's hands. It really doesn't matter. What you're trying to do is penetrate, and you're going to have some guys spotting up. One of those guys is going to be the one who gets the basketball, has got to be ready to shoot.
This is always that part of the game where you wonder, do you foul? Do you not foul if you're Rhode Island because you're up by 3? Do you let a little time go off the clock, get them before midcourt?
Well, if you're Rhode Island, you foul immediately if you're going to foul at all, if that's your approach. But you don't let a couple passes go in and then operate in the offensive area and foul. The good thing is that they're not going to try to score right now, you know? So
yeah,
a team like Rhode Island, as we take a look at what they've done tonight from the line, 3 3-point line, excuse me.
Stoops will inbound. Johnny Schuler's in as well. Pookie Powell, number 0, heading toward the baseline. He'll get the basketball. As he brings it up, he is fouled by Garrett.
That's the foul you were referring to.
You got to do it before half court because you don't want them to just chuck up a shot and then foul them. And let's say it goes in.
Well, and I like the fact that he was dribbling with his head down, not even looking at the rim. It's a good time to foul.
Yeah, or it goes in, or it's a 3-shot foul. Right. They let it go. Right. So Powell will go to the line. 4.2 to play.
Washington looking to check back in as well. Get some bigs in there along with Johnson.
First shot is good. 81-79. So now do you miss here?
Trying to read
like LaSalle.
Coach Giannini's lips there for a sec. Trying to get into his little one-on-one huddle.
I guess 7 point is a lifetime. Maybe you didn't do it there. Do it here. I don't know. Oh, he does. He's going to miss it.
Oh.
Washington with the rebound and the putback. He has tied this game up with 1.3 to play. It hit the rim, it hit the backboard.
It has to at least graze the rim. You decide, does it hit the rim at all? It looks like it
maybe
does.
it did. Yep, maybe it did at the front of the rim. Washington with the putback, and his shot is good to tie this game up at 81.
Focus on the rim. Does the rim rattle and shake there for a sec?
Yeah, it did. I think it did hit it all.
It looks like it's moving, but that also might be the backboard that's vibrating, Tom.
Man.
That's the decision right now
that
we're all looking at
for the officials to see. It has to hit the rim. Jeff Anderson is to the right, Mike Stewart to the left. Ray Natili is the center official.
Well, you give credit to LaSalle for executing, but poor block out.
I don't know. I do think it hit the tip of the front of that rim. So they're making sure they have the clock right as well to make sure Rhode Island has enough time to get a playoff. Watch it again. I think right there, Ala. I think it's got the rim.
You know, I'm going to tend to agree with you, partner. And I think also the rotation on the ball changes after it hits the rim.
Oh, man.
What a fun finish.
How about this? So it was a 7-point game. Rhode Island had a 7-point lead. We mentioned how it was a huge possession for LaSalle defensively. Watch it again. And it does hit the rim. The ball did hit the rim. Mike Stewart just told us that. So 2.7 left to play. So they add some time on the clock. So here we go. 81 all with 2.7 left in the second half.
If you're LaSalle, you're keeping everybody, your man, in front of you. Nobody gets behind you right now.
Terrell to Garrett. Garrett from midcourt lets it fly. No good, and we're going to overtime. Tied up at 81. We're at the end of regulation. I think that's the first time John Giannini has smiled tonight.
Take a look at it again. It wasn't that far off from Garrett.
It was awfully close. So it's time to regroup. It's the end of regulation. Add 5 minutes to the clock. Rhode Island and LaSalle all tied up at 81. 81-81. It was a 77-70 run for Rhode Island. And LaSalle finished regulation with an 11-4 run. And how about this? After the missed free throw from Pookie Powell, watch number 5, Tony Washington.
Well, when you need a big bucket, you go to the redshirt senior, Washington, using every bit of that 6'10" frame. Get that rebound up and in.
So we begin overtime. Mike Stewart, the center court. Langevin will jump center against Washington. A reminder, Langevin has 4, Terrell has 4. Stan Robinson is fouled out already for Rhode Island. Significant because of his point total. Stan Robinson had 20 points, 7 rebounds tonight. And overtime is underway. And it'll be Rhode Island basketball. Pookie Powell tried to save that one. Don't forget, Northern Iowa and Valparaiso is now available at cbssports.com/CBSSN. And we'll get out to that game as soon as this one is finished up. Russell to Doughton.
Now remember now, you've got tired legs, visiting team, and Terrell with foul trouble.
That's Russell. Bounce pass to Langevin. And he's going to go to the free throw line to try to finish off a 3-point play.
That is a nifty little wraparound pass. Take a look at this penetration. Look at that. Splitting the defenders. A nice catch by Langevin.
That is hand-eye coordination and tremendous athleticism. Tony Washington checks out now with 5 fouls. He is disqualified. So each team now has a player who has fouled out.
And as he goes out, the LaSalle assistant coaches try to implore their team to block out. Washington not in the ballgame anymore.
Langevin's free throw. It's good. Rhode Island struggling from the line tonight. They get a big one there. And the lead is up to 3. Ball is tipped near midcourt. Matthews is on B.J. Johnson. Brookins was open for a moment. They didn't see him. And Peary is able to run to the basket and lay it in.
That time Terrell with 4 fouls, not really trying to play valiant defense. That time let Peary go right by him, trying to stay in the ballgame.
84-83. Pookie Powell on E.C. Matthews. Little size advantage. E.C. Matthews jumper is good for 2.
Such poise, such composure, the nice little step back.
B.J. Johnson off the rim or off the backboard. It's good. E.C. Matthews was trying to get the charge, and oh man, he is holding his right knee, rubbing his right knee.
And you certainly hope he's okay. You take a look at,
oh boy,
oh man.
That is the knee that he injured 2 years ago. He tore his ACL in the first game of the 2015-16 season.
Well, if it's any consolation, the same exact thing happened a couple nights ago. There was a lot of fear, and he was able to walk off, and thankfully you can see the relief on Coach Hurley's face as he gives him a high five. There's that play that we were just referring to. Slow to get up after a tough foul, a tough, hard fall.
Yeah, this is the play from the February 13th against Richmond where he had the bone bruise in the other knee. We saw the injury to the ACL in the previous shot. Hey, anytime this happens, if you're a player, you're sort of tentative.
Absolutely.
And you don't blame them.
No question about it. It's in the back of your mind. Absolutely. That's why I marvel at some guys who are able to just put that past them and play all out.
Heading to the locker room. His team up by 1. Terrell. Right side of the lane. Leans in. Shot block. Foul calls. That's Peary with his 3rd personal foul. And Terrell will get a couple of free throws. Well, by the way, we've talked about Rhode Island has the best depth in the Atlantic 10. And they already lost Robinson, who's fouled out. Lacey Matthews out now, getting his knee checked out, the surgically repaired knee. And now he comes running back from the locker room. And Terrell to the free throw line. That depth is being tested.
Yeah, the good thing about knees or ACLs, if you will, there are certain maneuvers, certain things that you can do to test and see whether or not the structure is intact. You don't need an MRI, you don't need x-rays. You can just go and manipulate the knee. It looks like they've done that in the back, and he seems okay.
Yeah, he's heading to the scorer's table as we speak. Stoops backs his way in, heads toward the basket, and is fouled going up. Jarvis Garrett called for his third.
That guy right there on his way back in. They don't make a deep run without number 0 in the lineup.
I would agree with that. All right, so now Stoops to the line with a chance to tie it. And he's now 3 for 3. Lacey Matthews in. Garrett out. And we're tied up in overtime. 3:16 to play. Rhode Island destined for the NCAA tournament. St. Bonaventure right now destined for the NCAA tournament. But I'll tell you, the A10 tournament in DC is going to be exciting. Langevin decides not to slam, just lay it right in. He sort of peppered that into the cylinder.
Well, the guard in the pick and roll turned the corner so hard that they had to all focus on him. Left him wide open inside, Langevin.
B.J. Johnson, tough shot. Did not have the angle. And the rebound by Matthews. It went off the fingertips of Brookins as well. Down low to Langevin. Two-handed jam. That one was a little more emphatic.
And you can see the communication or the lack of communication between Brookins and Stoops. Brookins was fronting him, thinking Stoops had the help from the backside. Help never came.
Entry pass to Johnson. Quick step to the basket. And a foul on the floor. It's a pushing foul called against E.C. Matthews. That's his fourth.
Take a look at this defensive approach, playing way off of him, 3/4 high. That's an easy read by Langevin, and you just see him right there. He sees nobody behind him, puts his hand up. Teammate does a good job of recognizing that.
Johnson misses the first free throw of the night. 30 points, 23 rebounds, 8 of 9 now from the free throw line. Makes the second one. It's back to a one-possession ball game. For all its struggles from the free throw line, Rhode Island is 4 for 4 from the floor in overtime. They've compensated. Doughton got some freedom. Shot clock is at 5. Doughton open for 3. No good. And the rebound is run down by Powell, knocked out of bounds by Terrell. Doughton had a shot on the drive to the basket when he pulled out.
But that was where his best opportunity lied. That jumper that he had to take there, way off.
A little more size in now for Rhode Island. With Tony Washington out, they figure they go bigger on the front line if you're the Rams. Now, free throw line. Stoops. And Stoops is fouled by Langevin, and that will disqualify him from the game.
Unfair to ask Langevin to move his feet with a guy who's at least 6 inches shorter than him. Stoops put it in a strong hand.
So Langevin is out. 2 players now have fouled out for Rhode Island. So this depth is being tested. They still have some big men on the bench, including Andre Berry, who has not really played much since the start of this second half. And now Stoops, 86% for the free throw line, or should say 87% for the season. Makes the first.
Rhode Island has called timeout.
And Rhode Island calls a timeout. 2-point lead for Rhode Island. Danny Hurley uses the timeout. We'll be back right after this. All right, guys, we appreciate it. 91-89 the score. We're in overtime, 1:25 to play. We'll give you a little game reset here. So Rhode Island up by 2, has 1 timeout left. LaSalle has 1 left as well. 2 free throws for everybody, including Ala, for the rest of the game. Now, foul trouble has been a real issue. There have been a lot of fouls called in this game. I mean, a lot of fouls called in this game. So Robinson and Langevin are out. Terrell has 4 for Rhode Island. Lacey Matthews has 4. That's concerning. On the other side, Tony Washington is out. B.J. Johnson has 4 personal fouls. That's concerning because Johnson has 31 points and 23 rebounds for John Giannini's team.
Can ill afford to lose the best player, the most productive player here tonight.
Second free throw for Stooks is good. So they iced him, and he still made it, and it's a 1-point game.
Denying Fats the ball. Give the man his respect. Fats Russell, full name.
What is Johnny Schuler doing to Fats Russell up top?
Dosey Joe.
Oh, man. Doughton for the free throw line. Jumper is no good. And that's 24 rebounds for B.J. Johnson. That is incredible.
Looking to ISO B.J. with the ball. Look how far he has to go out to get it.
Two-pointer is no good. Fats Russell knocks it to the ground. Lacey Matthews picks it up.
Tough shot from Johnson. He's got to take the shot. You just wonder whether or not that's the shot they want.
B.J. Johnson has matched Iguodare's record for rebounds in a game in the Atlantic 10. Now, Iguodare did that for GW against St. Bonaventure in '93. Did it regulation. This is overtime, but still an amazing feat. Here's Terrell. 8 on the shot clock. No good. Rebound loose, out of bounds. It'll be Rhode Island basketball, and the shot clock is off.
And you can see the exasperation on Coach John Giannini. Yeah, Coach, it'll give you gray hairs. You can see why so exasperated.
I think Pookie Powell did hit it last.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
you know, Doughton was there as well, and they're going to look at it because they can, and they want to get it right.
It was off of Powell. No question about it. Take a look at it again. Well,
I don't know. Doughton got his hand
yeah,
on it
yeah,
too.
and Doughton.
That's going to be difficult to overturn, though.
The direction in which Doughton is moving too with his body and his arm looks like he would be the one that propelled the ball in that direction.
I think he may have been. But then you have to slow it up to see, well, where was the ball? Was it still in Pookie's hands when Doughton released it, even though he had the power over it?
Right. We've got a lot of video replays tonight as well. There it is again. You can
Right
see
there, see Doughton's hand?
Yeah. So it looks like Doughton was the last one to touch it after
He
Pookie
may have been,
being the first.
He may have been. This may be overturned, and it may be LaSalle basketball. Well, Mike Stewart just came over and asked if we had a clear look. I mean, our camera operators really nailed this one. I mean, this is a great shot that we showed you. They're taking a peek at it on the opposite side. We're going to try to slow it down, I think, too, just to see where Doughton's hand was. So now they're going to take a look at this is our feed. So this is Pookie Powell's number is 0, and then Doughton comes in.
Yeah, I don't think Powell's arm is moving in the direction towards the baseline. If anything, it's moving away from the baseline.
I got to tell you, a devil's advocate, though, when Doughton hits it, does it still remain in Powell's hand? And then Doughton doesn't have it. Like right there, like is it still off Powell's fingertips? So, hey, can you overturn it?
I know what you're getting at. That's a good point. Well, I'm glad I'm sitting next to you.
Right, it's a really good shot, though. I mean, that's just
great job by our
excellent
crew.
work. Yeah, excellent work. They may not have enough to overturn this, honestly. They may not be able to overturn it. I know we hear that a lot in sports, that it's